This is something I just got in the mail yesterday. Cat dish over there. It's not that. It's this thing without the skins. Let me see if I can pan around the front and give an idea what it is. Yes, of course, it's an SGI O2. It's something I got off eBay, which I was pretty excited about. Um, because it was a good price and they claimed it was, with a model number and that it had a SCSI hard drive. And I've been in the market to get a 2 or 4 gig SCA SCSI drive for the SparkStation 10 over there so I can free up my SCSI to SD. And SunOS 414 has, I think, a 4 gig max. So this does have a 2 gig drive. Wonderful. But it also had IRIX 6.3 loaded on it. So I've got IRIX on it. So I may not take its drive, but it was sold at a price and sold labeled as for parts or repair, and it booted up first time. So of course in an SGI we got to show off the 4D window manager, IRIX desktop here, motif with some tweaks, and what a fantastic little machine. Is it the most powerful of the O2s? No, it's got the 180 megahertz processor, not a whole lot of memory. The CD-ROM is buggered up, but again, can net boot it if need to install IRIX 6.5, and thankfully the people who had it before left the root password as password. So here we go. This is, $35 system here. Not bad. But I'm pretty impressed. So this, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll play with it. It may turn into an X-Term, because what the SGI had going for it is its graphical capabilities. Here it's plugged into my lady wife's old PC monitor, the only monitor I have in the house except for my LCD TV that I can use. And it's not at native resolution there. Let me see if that can focus. So it's doing 1280 1024 here. So I probably have to do some tweaking to get it to 1440 by 900. Or maybe this is a higher resolution monitor. I don't know what the exact specs of the monitor are, but I doubt it's a 1280 1024 because that's the wrong aspect ratio. So as you can see, things are a little stretched in the aspect ratio. But no matter. $35 Unix machine. Again, only 32 megs of RAM and the 180 megahertz MIPS R5000. So not the beefiest thing in the world, but pretty nifty. The other thing it may turn into is an audio editing workstation, which I kind of desperately need. Just because this actually has a decent audio in. It's on the side here. I don't know if you can see that. This actually has a decent audio in system. I had one of these on my desk actually for a while when I worked at a post-production company in the late 90s, early 2000s. My two desk machines were an O2 and a SparkStation 2. And for whatever reason, I preferred the SparkStation 2. I don't know. I mean, this kind of is one of the kind of divides in Unix workstations, right? Is that Suns were for programmers and SGI were for artists, right? And not to say you couldn't flip-flop and do the other on the other. And I'm not including offerings from Digital or IBM or HP. A lot of those were a lot more business-oriented, whereas Sun seemed to be more at home in the technical and programming realm. And SGI, obviously, they were really big in high-performance stuff. And of course, later on, I had an O2. I'm sorry, not an O2, an Octane 2 on my desk at a later company, which was, of course, a much more powerful machine than this. But this is pretty slick, and wanted to show it off. And what I was waiting for was an Amazon same day to get a PS2 mouse. I had an old PS2 keyboard, but no PS2 mouse. You can see a lot of my gear. There's some stuff down there, stuff in the other room. But all of it's kind of serverish stuff that I get into over a serial port or the network. Don't really have much call for a monitor. But now that I've dug this monitor out, I may have to grab a 13W3 adapter and see how the frame buffer on the CG6 looks on a modern flat screen. Don't know what else to really add here, but expect maybe some SGI videos in the future. maybe doing a net installation of IRIX 6.5, because 6.3 is a bit out of date. So these machines were kind of middle late 90s vintage. I haven't looked at this one to find out what year it was exactly, but call it. I think they started selling them in 1997, if memory serves, 1998. So this was kind of, let's call it roughly the same era as, maybe a little bit later than the start of the Sun Ultra line. And the MIPS R5000, some of them had an R10000. I don't know if the R12000 was an option. Might have been. Maybe I heard R12000 O2s, but certainly the R10000 MIPS CPU was an option for the O2. And again, this is another one of these systems I don't know a whole heck of a lot about. I had one on my desk for a while. They have a interesting memory architecture. So I think it shares system memory with the graphics subsystem. So all your textures and stuff can be stored in main system memory if you're doing something like 3D with texture. So that's it for now. Expect more SGI videos soon.